Hi, everybody. Welcome to the second half of our semester together, the online version of English 3320, Shakespeare. And I just want to start by saying that I hope all of you are taking good care of yourself and staying healthy and staying away from people as much as possible. Um, we're doing the same out here, and it certainly is prone to making people stir crazy, I understand. Anyway, I just want to welcome you back to the class. And I'm going to start by just saying, let's just all bear with each other. This is a learning process. You didn't sign up to be in an online class. I have a little bit of experience teaching an online class, but I wasn't planning to teach this class online. And so we're just going to have to bear with each other and do our best. Anyway, so I've uploaded the new syllabus, and I hope you'll take a look at it. I just wanted to mention a couple of things there. So first, we're going to remove one play. We're going to take out The Tempest, as much as I hate to say goodbye to that play, just so that we don't have, things aren't going to be too crunched. I want to try to, make this as as easy as possible, just to kind of get all the way through the basic requirements of the class. I've also taken off one of the assignments, just to take some of the pressure off. I'm just going to give everybody full credit for that, and I'm going to write up a model version of that assignment so that you can see what was involved in it. And I'll ask you if you could just try to take a look at the model that I'll end up posting, just so that you can kind of imagine what to do with what you would have done if you'd had that assignment. Engaging with a little bit of secondary criticism, some scholarship, that's going to be part of the final project in this class. And this preliminary step of reading a Macbeth essay was just to give you a little bit of practice with that and get some feedback from me on it. But I'm going to take that assignment off. We're still going to do the key passage assignment for the middle number of plays, so Midsummer Night's Dream, Richard II, or the first part of Henry IV, or 1 Henry IV. That's going to be due on April the 7th. And we're still going to have a term paper in the class, one which is going to ask you to use the resources of the library, which you can access remotely in order to undertake that term paper. I've got some suggested topics that I'll put up, and I'll keep adding to that as we go along through the semester. And you're certainly encouraged to think about things that you might find interesting in the plays that maybe I won't necessarily think of having listed as a topic. But if there's something that's interesting to you, I mean, just to be kind of sort of tongue-in-cheek, for instance, like I'm not going to have a plague topic on the list of topics, but we're living through that kind of thing, and there are references to the plague that was going through London at different points in Shakespeare's plays, and so maybe maybe those will kind of really stand out to you, and you'll decide, gosh, I want to write something about disease and epidemics and so on as they relate to Shakespeare. I mean, that's just an example. So if you think of something that is interesting to you that I haven't listed, you should feel free to go ahead and pursue that topic. Just make sure you check in with me and let me know you're working on that topic. As far as how the class, and then there will be a final exam, which I'm going to try to change a little bit just to make it easier to do it online. There will be a certain kind of time, certain element to it. So, you do want to still try to plan to have some time on the day that our final exam was originally scheduled, where you can upload some materials and spend about probably like an hour working on some of the other materials that I'll ask about on that day. Okay, and then as far as the actual, the way the class is going to run, we practiced right before the official shutdown of the university. We had practiced being online together using Blackboard Collaborate Ultra. It has been pointed out to me a couple of times in a couple of different contexts that actually having live lectures might not be the best thing in the current context. I mean, there's bandwidth issues, right? Who knows what the university's bandwidth is going to be like next week with a whole bunch of online classes all of a sudden going on. And then there's just a kind of consideration of people's schedules kind of thing. I'm going to have that time. I'm not sure if you guys will have that time, 9 o'clock to 10:20 on Tuesdays and Thursdays to try to log in. And maybe you've got kids to deal with, or you're sharing a computer with siblings or a loved one or family members or whatever. And so I'm going to basically still go online and try to do what would be a lecture, but I'm also going to record them, or I'm hoping I'll be able to record them and then just post them, and maybe I'll post some PowerPoints or something like that, just so that we'll keep what we would be doing in a kind of modified and scaled back versions as far as those lectures go. And then on the original schedule, there were a couple of classes that would have been canceled for me to be out of town at conferences. And obviously, I'm not going to be out of town at those conferences now, and so I'm going to use those days that we would not normally have been meeting just to do some like kind of practical lectures on how to use databases, how to think about a topic sentence and thesis statement and things like that. Things that'll help you get ready for the final paper. But I mean, I hope you'll watch those lectures, but and participate in them. I mean, I would love to get your questions while we're kind of working through that if you've got questions that we can talk about. But those are going to be a little bit less essential and so on. And I posted your the grades from your midterm exams. I think it was yesterday. So anyway, let's all hang in there. Let's all stay healthy and safe. So do whatever is necessary to keep yourself healthy and safe. And let's all be in this together. And I'm going to try to post this right now. I'm just learning to make sure I can do this correctly. And I'll expect to see some of you maybe on Tuesday the 31st at 9 o'clock in the morning using that Blackboard link to sign in to our virtual classroom, and we'll kind of go from there. Okay? Hang in there, everybody. Just going to add a couple of quick seconds to the video that I just posted, but I wanted to mention that so we do have 3 plays that we're going to continue to deal with this semester. The first part of Henry IV, sometimes called Henry IV Part 1 or 1 Henry IV, Macbeth, and then King Lear. And I want you to read those carefully. So I mean, if you find yourself with some time, your kids are asleep and you've got, you don't want to stream any more videos or whatever, get out your books and read those carefully. The quizzes that I'm going to give on those 3 plays at this point are going to reward people who are, reading really carefully. So as long as you do the reading, you're going to get a lot of credit for this part of the quizzes. But the question I'm going to ask for each one of the 3 remaining plays is, what is one aspect of the play that is important but maybe not obvious? And then I'm going to be asking you basically to kind of write in 2 or 3 sentences, nothing super long, but and then you kind of list and act a scene and a line number. In act scene line, character so and so says such and such. And although this doesn't seem important at the moment, eventually this becomes a very important idea. And as long as you do that, you're going to get 9 out of 10 points. If you're able to actually pick something that nobody else in the class ends up locating, you'll get 10 out of 10 points. If you have some kind of trouble somehow with it, you'll get 8 or 7 points. But basically, as long as you're able to kind of locate something that you think is important but not obvious, then you're going to get 9 points out of that. Okay, so I'm just going to add this little quiz onto things. Everybody, remember, wash your hands and practice social distancing.